for joining us. It is great to be able to look back a little bit at the award winners from the inaugural FWA Awards. And we really wanted to be able to share with the community across our platforms what the experience of applying and what the kind of accolade has meant, so that we can inspire people to participate in next year's awards, and also so that we can extend the acknowledgement for our inaugural award winners for a little bit longer online. So I'm going to rattle through some questions for you, if you don't mind.
Okay. No problem.
Excellent. All right. So your role and obviously all from Liberty. So your role, the business, and the award that you received this year.
Yeah, no problem at all. So okay, I'm Paul Miller. I'm the Chief Executive for Liberty Flexible Workspaces. And the award that we received, and we're very proud to receive, I have to say, is the Diversity and Inclusion Award. So which was a real buzz, and no doubt we'll get into a bit of detail.
Fantastic. And why was the award meaningful to you guys? What inspired you to prioritise applying in that category, and why has it been meaningful to Liberty at this moment in your journey?
Yeah, so it was, I guess, we have to sort of take it back about 18 months, 2 years, when we started on our B Corp journey. And the B Corp journey was where we had obviously some client experience team members, some of the leadership team, and we all got around a table and started going through, which was, I think the first part of it was the sustainable development goals, which are obviously zero hunger, no poverty, and climate action, all that sort of thing. And when we sort of dived into a bit of detail regarding all of those, some of the things that sort of three of those that popped up, which I think were gender equality, good health and well-being, and reduced inequalities. Where we sort of delved into them, and we were doing almost like putting ideas on post-it notes and that sort of type of thing. And then, and they were all going into the middle. And the trainer, she was saying, you're so affiliated, all of you across the board within this area. You probably don't realize, but you're doing a lot of this yourselves already, which was sort of really good to sort of hear. And then from that, we sort of got down, and that's where we put together our new mission statement, which was basically to unleash the power of happiness by creating environments where people want to be.
It's pretty inherent to co-working, isn't it? It really is. To flexible and co-working, this is our DNA, isn't it? It's really reassuring, the process.
It is 100%. And sort of, why was it important to us? I mean, it really, I guess it sort of affirmed, what we were doing was down the right path, albeit that we were sort of, I guess, starting early days, that sort of type thing. But we were certainly, heading in the right direction, sort of thing. And we were prioritizing, things with the staff on the health and well-being side of things. And one of the things that always sort of cropped up was, and a great little saying was, happy people make people happy, So, and it was something, and it was that, I guess, we sort of came down to the Liberty difference. And this is something that, Jamie and I always sort of talked about, which was, anybody can have a great location and anybody can put up walls and create a fantastic environment and everything like that. But the Liberty difference was definitely our people, and that was one of the things. And then sort of going, full circle back, happy people make people happy. And obviously, so if the team are happy, then that, has that knock-on effect with your clients and everything there as well. So we really started to put like a bit of sort of commitment and a bit of effort into this side of things, and to make that commitment to clients, so, to make sure that they're in an environment that they sort of want to be in, so that was where it all sort of stemmed from. And then I guess sort of like some of the key elements that we looked at were, the things that sort of, I guess, hopefully got us through and got that award. Well, I mean, one of the key things was leadership diversity. I mean, half of our leadership team are ladies, are women. And they are definitely our better half, Kate, so it's like, there's no two ways about it. We could probably operate without Jamie, Dan and I, but we certainly couldn't operate without the others, so, and also as well, I mean, 90% of our client experience team, they're all women, and it's a great culture and that sort of thing that we've managed to develop. And with that, And with taking on board sort of obviously staff on a regular basis, when it comes to the interview process, some of the things that we always do is look to ask questions and understand what their plans would be going forward, because not everybody wants to be front of house for the rest of their lives, and we know that, and we understand that, and we respect that. But where in a couple of cases, we've had a few of the guys that have said, well, look, I'm really interested in the sort of the marketing side of things, or I'm interested in the commercial real estate side of things. So what we've then done is set up, sort of mentoring programs. So like Chiara, who heads up who's our marketing executive, heads up that side of things. She's looking after a couple of the guys, helping her doing some mentoring. Dan from the Felix, the commercial real estate side of the business, he's doing the same. So, I mean, he's helping people through, a couple of the guys through that sort of commercial side of things. And we make sure that it doesn't sort of, it's not after hours work. It's not anything like that. We ensure that we incorporate it within the working day so that, work-life balance. I mean, obviously there you are, so that it doesn't eat into any of their social time or anything like that. But it also as well, I mean, it's good for us because it's a bit of a sticky thing that, then the guys generally stay with us for a bit longer and it's not a high turnover. And I'm pleased to say that we don't really have that high turnover of staff. Which is great. I mean, the other thing as well, I guess, is community engagement. We, wherever possible, support local businesses, local startups, that sort of type of thing. We affiliate ourselves with quite a few of the business associations, the networking companies, local chambers, that sort of type of thing. And where we can offer, a real value add that doesn't cost much to us is things like, virtual mailing addresses. It's no physical cost to us, and it's something that we can offer people, that are up and coming and maybe haven't got the funds at the time, to be able to do those sort of things. Our co-working environment, people can come in and they can use the co-working, as and when they like, and these are just sort of, value adds that, again, as their businesses grow, what we ultimately are trying to do is to obviously get people through the door to have a look at our space, to experience what we've got to offer. And this is where it's had some real benefits because, whilst they're growing their business and, they're inviting other people in and everything like that. So it's a bit of a knock-on effect. So we're very pleased with what sort of happened there. And I guess finally looking at it and something that's absolutely essential these days is our mental health initiatives, that we've put forward. Something that's now in our third year, or will be coming into our third year actually, in September, October next year, which is our Happiness at Work Week, which I believe was started, and I just suddenly thought that then, I believe it was started by the Dutch actually, and what it is, it's and we were the first people to adopt it over here in WA, and it's great. The guys are in there; they're in their Happiness at Work Week T-shirts, and we do various events through the week. We affiliate ourselves with the Happiness Co. So when they sort of come on board, and then we have a in fact, we've got like a remedial massage guy that comes in, offers free massages for the clients and things like that. So it's a real collaborative, environment in that week. In addition to that, we do for the team, we do monthly mental health check-ins, which have proved to be very popular. And it's something where obviously the guys don't have to go, but if they wanted to go and they wanted to, and it's anonymous, you just go in and you'll book a time on a certain day. Again, it doesn't cut into any of your, like a break time or anything like that. It's part of your work hours. You can go in and you can have a chat about anything. It doesn't have to be work related by any stretch of the imagination. It can be whatever you want to chat about, So, and they've proved really popular, with the team and that. So we're just doing that for our third year in a row now. And also the Blue Tree Foundation, which is who we've sort of partnered with. And we did for the first time this year, which was where we did we raised just over $3,000 with myself doing the Rottnest swim, actually. So I don't know whether you know about the Rottnest swim at all, Kate, or Well, it's
I can imagine it's a big one.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's out there. That'll probably change.
That's
So
great.
it's out there on the in the ocean. So it's a 20 kilometer swim
That's a
over
serious swim.
to Rottnest Island. Yeah. So and I've done it sort of a few years running, and we've raised money a few years running. But this year was the first year where it was the weather was terrible. I have to say, it was absolutely, it was like being in a washing machine out there. So
That's
I
awful.
wasn't upset at all when they pulled the pin. I think I was at probably about 9 kilometers, something like that, and I was quite happy. So, but I mean, the good thing is nobody asked for their money back because nobody got to the island. You know what I mean? So, but so we raised just over 3,000, and then Liberty actually we matched that. So it was, I think it was just over $6,000 that we ended up raising for Blue Tree. So I mean, and you know, doing these sort of things and sort of winning these awards. I mean, it really sort of hits home that, you know, what we're doing, and we are still learning. We're massively still learning about everything that we're doing, but hopefully we're sort of heading in the right direction with it all.
I think so. That's a fantastic snapshot of the culture and the essential elements that really must have impressed the judges for this year.
All right.
What do you see as the next big trend in co-working? Would be my second last question, and then the last one we'll jump on to is tell us a little bit about where your award lives in your office.
All right. Okay. Good. Yeah. So I mean, the next big trend in sort of co-working, I mean, it has to be going along the path that we currently are at the moment. I mean, it makes me think 10 years ago, it was everywhere you would go, it was all about end of trip facilities, you know, and that's taken now. So when you go into a building, it has to be about end of trip facilities. And that's just taken as a given now. So any building that you go into, whether it's a premium building, whether it's a grade A, whichever, it needs to have an end of trip facility. It's what happens. It's a given. So, you know, with what's happening now, I guess, and certainly since post-COVID, post-COVID, what we do need to sort of understand is people need to earn the commute. You know, you need to get people into the office. I know sort of we were very fortunate over here in WA with regards to only having a few days lockdown. When you look at Victoria and places like that, you know, people got very used to working from home, and it was, you know, it sort of worked for them. So it was earn the commute, get them in, get them coming into the office. And I mean, so, you know, well-being, flexibility, you know, areas, spaces that can prioritize, you know, people's mental health. You know, they want to go in there, they want to collaborate. You know, you need to have your greenery, your bioprolific, you know, there needs to be all of this sort of combined. And it's not, I guess it's not so much of a trend. It's more of it's a necessary development, you know, that has to go forward, because 25 years ago when I started in the industry, Kate, it was the serviced office sector. That's what it was. There was offices, meeting rooms, front of house reception, a kitchen, and that was it, you know? So, I mean, the way that we've sort of developed over this period of time, it really is important that we're able to offer these sorts of things to entice people into the office, because this is where collaboration, this is where networking, this is where all these sort of things happen. And it has to, and people have to want to come in. They have to want to sort of see what's going to happen. I mean, you know, there'll also be, I think, there'll also be sort of like localization sort of things. So I mean, you know, where businesses can, you know, collaborate with people that are local. I mean, WA being the most isolated city, I think, worldwide. You know, we do a lot of that here, where obviously we have to engage, and not because we have to, we want to engage, obviously, to support local communities and everything there as well. So basically, you know, spaces as they develop over a period of time with co-working do have to do that. They have to be, you know, it has to be diversity, it has to be equity, it has to be inclusion, all these sort of things on a sustainable level that we can give our clients. But finally, at the same time, we also need to make it practical for the operator, you know. So, you know, as I was saying, 25 years ago, it was a lot of the space was taken up with obviously your physical offices that were, you know, paid for 24/7. you know, and your circulation space, so your corridors and receptions was probably 20%. You can't really get away with that these days. So, you know, we do need to make sure that when we plan and we structure our floors and everything like that, you know, we are making the most of these spaces to make sure that we get the returns that are required. Because, you know, people that are out there, I mean, there is a lot of expectation out there. You know, we expect to have, obviously, unlimited internet access. We expect to have meeting rooms, phone booths, etc., that sort of thing that we can jump into. But we only want to pay for the space as and when we go into it. So we need to be clever about the whole thing. You know, thinking about when people do need a private space, can we rent out a private office on a full-time basis to a few different clients? You know, if we can find that magic formula, that would be great, because that's what's happening. And I'm sure it will happen, and I'm sure it will develop, you know, over a period of time. But we've just got to stay ahead of the curve. That's what we've got to do, and make sure make sure that, yeah, you know, as I say, it's not a trend sort of thing.
That's great. I've got to jump to our next interview, but before we go, I wanted to first of all say thank you and congratulations again, and for inspiring the next one. And then tell us, where is the trophy? Where do you keep it? Oh, it's on your desk. Ta-da! Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
I don't take it with me everywhere. I was there when we were flying back from Melbourne. I was incredibly protective of it. I have to say,
Oh, that's wonderful.
No, it sits in our head office. But when we do have, you know, when we have sort of like functions and things like that as well, we do like to just put it in there on display so that the clients can see it. But it does have pride.
Staff must be very proud of it too. I'm
very
really
proud indeed, you know. So so we do sort of, we take it from a few different sort of centres. So it does get a lot of comments, and it certainly does get a lot of views as well.
That's wonderful. Paul, congratulations. We'll enjoy your evening tonight with all of your staff, your Christmas celebrations. And I will, I'll be back to you to share with you the format for how we're gonna share this with the rest of the network. So thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed, Kate. Great to see you again.
You too.
Have a great Christmas and New Year. We'll speak soon.
Bye.
Lovely. Cheers. Bye-bye.